Back when the telegraph was the method of long-distance communication, a young man had applied for a job as a Morse code operator. Entering an ad in the newspaper, he went to the office address that was listed, and when he arrived, he entered a large, busy office with all kinds of noise and clatter, including the sound of a telegraph in the background. A sign on the receptionist counter instructed job applicants to fill out a form and wait until they were summoned to enter the inner office. The young man filled out his form and sat down with 7 other applicants in the waiting area. After a few moments, the young man stood up, walked across the room to the door to the inner office, and walked right in. Naturally, the other applicants perked up, wondering what was going on. They muttered among themselves that this young man was so impertinent, and he failed to wait with the rest of them until the employer called him in. Within a few moments, however, the employer escorted the young man out of the office and said to the other applicants, "Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming, but the job has just been filled." The other applicants were grumbling to each other, and one of them spoke up and said, "Well, wait a minute, I don't understand. He was the last to come in, and we never even got a chance to be interviewed. He got the job. That's not fair." The employer said, "I'm sorry, but all the time you have been sitting here, the telegraph has been clicking out the following message in Morse code. If you understand this message, then come right in. The job is yours." None of you heard it and understood it. This young man did. The job is his. They weren't listening. They weren't listening to the message that was right in front of them the entire time. We often think, "Oh, I'd love it if God would speak to me." But the truth is that God is speaking, but many times we are so preoccupied with ourselves that we don't hear, we don't listen. John 10:27, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." When is the last time you waited to hear from God? Maybe He will speak through impressions in your spirit. Maybe He'll speak through something you read in His Word. Maybe He'll speak through another brother or sister in Christ. But God is speaking. And when we are quiet and still enough to listen, we hear His voice. Eli was busy doing church, but Samuel is the one who heard the voice of God. In verse 10, Samuel says, "Speak, for your servant is listening." This word "listen" here also means obey. It implies that the listener is giving his total attention